Hey friends, are you done with dating apps? Tired of swiping through profiles and superficial chats that go nowhere? Well, swipe left on those boring rituals. Introducing Done with Dating, the free podcast-driven dating platform that's bringing human interaction back. We sit down with incredible singles for real conversations on our weekly podcast. Listeners like you get to know them deeply, then apply to date guests or step into the mic yourself. Plus, we host experts that discuss the dating world and provide advice on self-improvement techniques when you are taking a break from dating or focusing on yourself. Made for the bold, built for connection. Your dating journey redefined through the mic. Head to donewithdating.co right now and apply. It's all free. Your perfect match is one episode away. Hi friends. This is a Data Guest episode. In this episode, you'll hear from someone looking for a match. I'll be asking questions to help them bring out their personality and showcase themselves. You can evaluate whether they're a good fit for you or someone you know. Here we go. Hey everybody, today joining me in the studio for a matchmaking episode is Dan, who hails from Belmont. Hey Dan, thanks for joining me today.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
So I think we're going to have a fun conversation. Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah. I'm
So-
happy to be here.
So do you mind just telling us a bit about yourself, a little bit about your background to start?
Absolutely. Well, I am 34 years old and I just got my master's in library information science from Simmons University this past May of 2025.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And so I'm just trying to put myself out there in the ever complicated dating world.
And you are gay and you're looking
Yes.
for a male partner,
Yes,
right?
correct. Yes. Gay, just like Joey J, and looking for a male partner.
Okay. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your interests and activities that you like to do, or a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. A big part of my background is music. I love to support the artists that like bring me joy and have brought me joy for many years. I love to get a good cardio workout in, like doing some running. I try to read. I've been trying to read more lately. I just read Brandy, the artist, the singer. I just read her memoir, and now I'm reading. There's a female rapper named Trina. She's known as the baddest bitch, and I'm reading her book entitled The Baddest. And it's nice getting to hear the stories of people that I've looked up to. Another thing that's part of my background is I love consuming good art. Primarily, that's very much in the form of music, but also in movies. And I love to go see a good movie in the theater. And I feel like those are coming out more frequently now.
Nice. All right. So there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah,
which is
there's a
great,
lot. Yeah.
right? So, it sounded like most of your books at this point are nonfiction and they're related to musicians, their history. Is that
Yeah, that's
accurate?
true. Yeah, musicians or housewives. I've also started Lisa Rinna's memoir.
Okay. And she
Yeah.
was a desperate housewife from like one of the
No, she was a real housewife of Beverly Hills.
Real House. Okay, sorry, not Desperate
But no,
Housewives.
she
Real
could have been
House-
she could have been a desperate housewife, definitely.
I meant the wrong show.
That's
but yes,
okay.
you're right.
The one show is based off the other.
Right. Oh, okay.
So-
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. And then, for a physical activity, you like to run.
Yeah, I try to incorporate, some sort of cardio workout. So that's running around, or I'll use the stationary bike in the house. And there's an app called Ruvi. And so it just like links up with the bike, and you go and you do a 30-minute class, and it's like a spin class by no instructor, and it's just like a virtual course. It's nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so you told me when we were talking originally about your interest in dance, and that you have been a dancer for a long time.
Yeah. I took hip hop starting in 2003 when I was in 5th grade, and then started jazz in 8th grade. And I took this from 5th grade up until senior year of high school. And then in university, for the first I can't remember how long I did it, but I was on the dance team as well in college.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. That takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it does. I did it for at least 1 year. I don't know if I did it for longer than that, but I did it long enough that we did a whole recital and whatnot.
Choreography wise, I would imagine that is almost as difficult as acting because you have to it's instead of remembering the lines, you have to remember positions and
Y
stuff. Is that
You
right?
know what? I took acting and directing at school, actually, and I would say for me, it's easier to remember the body movements than it is to remember the lines.
Okay.
Um, and the whole reason I took dance was because I wanted to move like the girls in the videos. That was why I took dance, because I wanted to move like them and, emulate what I saw on the screen.
Have you ever considered merging dance and exercise in like a jazzercise or like Zumba or something like
You know what? Maybe because I worked at a gym, I'm very turned off by that. I don't
Okay.
know if I would. It's like I'd rather show up to my yoga class and expect that than me do it myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
That's good. There's a standard that you have.
Plus, if I'm like listening to music on the workout, there's already some dance moves thrown
Sure.
into it because I'm just feeling the beat or whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. We talked about you being gay, looking for a male. What about the details around what you're interested in?
Well, somebody who's not ashamed of who they are. That's like the biggest. It's
Mhm.
huge. And who at least is able to live their truth despite the difficulties that may come from that.
Okay. Yeah, and I obviously I'm straight, but I I'm gonna have to edit this out because my girlfriend makes fun of me when I'm like, obviously I'm a man or obviously I'm straight, but like, um, but in the, but in this case, what I was gonna say with that is, I had a guest on previously, and he talked about that too. It was really important to him that he was with somebody who was already out and proud of it and comfortable with it because he really that became a standard for him because it really became major problems when they would get to that point of introducing each other to family. Is that something that you've dealt with as well?
Not something I've dealt with as well, but I just feel like with what we're living through currently, there's a lot of people trying to like backpedal, or there's what's in right now is DL men. That's what's in. So down low men. So men that like have families or whatnot going on the apps with the no profile pic and saying I'm DL. That's what's in right
Oh,
now.
really?
Yeah, I know. I felt this that face you made.
Yeah.
That's the exact face I have on the inside. Um, and it's just it's internalized like homophobia. I'm sure we could get a gay therapist to break it all down, but it's all tied into a lot of negative shit. And so for me, somebody who's proud of themselves, we're a bit away from that bullshit,
Yeah.
you know? Because like men really died out here having gay sex and nobody
Right.
gave a fuck.
Right.
So yeah,
And you also your personality is very energetic.
thank
You don't
you.
wanna be kind of you don't wanna put yourself in some kind of a
Yeah,
bottle or a mold to fit somebody else's ideal when they're just not really sure of who they are,
yeah.
right? So that makes a lot of sense. Okay, any other thoughts on that before we transition a little bit to other things for, the male partner that you're looking for?
Um, this is very crude and very blunt, but just don't lie on your dick. A lot like if you do something, just own it, just say like it was me experimenting with my sexuality, just no more shame. I don't want any more shame
Yeah,
um involved in yeah, no more shame in my journey.
yeah, okay. And I would say I think Boston's probably a nice, like, city for being gay and trying
Yeah.
to meet partners.
I- Maybe you know what I've been my own probably problem in that, and I could have probably met somebody, but maybe my actions weren't always aligned with what felt. But that's changed now. So
Great,
yeah.
that's good. Well, hopefully this is a place. As far as location, Do you have limitations or things that you would consider to be deal breakers as far as distance?
Yeah, I mean, well, honestly, I could do a long distance relationship with somebody. So I guess distance wouldn't be a huge deal breaker, but let's take it as it comes. Well, it's a case by case basis.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
Right. So your preference would be you'd prefer the greater Boston
Yeah,
area, but you're open to long distance if it's the right person.
exactly. And I am. It's just I have certain routines I built into
Hmm.
with the job I work in the evenings, and with everything I've lived through. Those routines matter a great deal, and you know, getting rid of them or changing them, it would. I'm happy to do that, but it would have to be for a very important reason.
Sure. That makes sense.
You know,
Hmm. Hmm. Do you have a physical
yeah,
archetype of
physical
someone?
attributes: be able to run a 5K, be able to run a 5K, and be able to do a couple chin ups.
Okay.
That's Dan's physical test. That's my yeah.
Okay. And you are tall
Yeah,
yourself, right?
I actually grew. I thought I was like 6'1" for the longest time. And then I went to like get my blood drawn for this medical thing for some money. And the guy measured me and I was 6'3".
Okay.
So I grew. I don't know how that's possible, but I grew. So I am 6'3".
Okay. And so preference for a partner, do you want someone, do you care about height?
I really don't care about height. I don't care. It's nice if they're around the same height because then it's easier to like kiss them. But like I'm pretty strong. I could lift them up if they're small.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Let's see. As far as age, any preference?
um, okay, I would ideally like to be with somebody who knows what it's like to rent a VHS from the video store,
Okay.
or at least was alive in that era, who's seen how far physical media's come, and just somebody who can appreciate the nostalgia. What is it? Whenever I see like a Mariah Carey song or like Always Be My Baby come up on my feed, I'll always comment like, we're gonna be dancing to this in walkers. So I want somebody who can know that nostalgia
Hmm.
with me.
Yeah.
We're looking born between like 90 and 99, but I would date somebody even if they were older than that.
Okay. Let's see. I think we talked through the type of what you're interested in. How about other things that you like to do? So you talked about reading, you talked about physical fitness, you talked about dancing, you talked about your background, your athletic background with dance and jazz and things. What are some things that you like to do just for regular hobbies?
Okay, well, I'm a Drag Race super fan, so I need to make sure I'm all cut up on RuPaul's Drag Race. So that's just like my favorite that show was like the first time I saw myself on TV when it premiered in 2009. And so ever since I saw it premiere, life has always kind of just told me like no matter what you do, you watch RuPaul's Drag Race. And it has not steered me wrong in life.
Okay.
So I would say that is a huge part of it. Um, the music and collecting things. I love to collect records as my side hobby to get extra money. I've been bringing my records to the local record shop in Belmont, and I've developed like a relationship, a rapport with the guys. Um, yeah. What else are you? Ask for other things.
So do you like to travel? Those types of things too?
Yes, I've loved to. We're mostly New England traveling, but I'm going with my mom up to Kripalu. If you've heard of Kripalu,
Is that up in Maine?
no, it's a yoga meditation center in Great Barrington,
Oh, okay.
and they've been in business like for a long time, and so I've been there a bunch of times. With me and my mom are going in a little bit. We're going in like a week or so.
So can you talk about that in terms of how meditation
Yeah,
helps
so
you?
the yoga, so they'll have like activities throughout the day and you can go to this and that, and then they'll have yoga classes. And I like a yoga class. I like to go up through Shavasana, but I like to break a sweat, but also be mindful.
Okay. So do you do power? Is that power yoga like vinyasa or?
Yeah. I like a
How,
mixture. I like a
okay.
mixture. So I like the vinyasa, but I also like the cool down stuff too.
Okay.
Um, and the strength class that I do on Friday mornings in Belmont, that class kind of embodies that.
Okay.
Embodies like the focusedness, but then at the same time, we'll end the class like sweating.
Excellent. And so when it comes to meditation and things like that, is that how you keep yourself grounded?
This world, it's so hard to do that. But yeah, that okay, meditation, RuPaul, and I don't know if you've heard of this, but there's a show called Baddies. Have you heard of the
No.
Baddie?
No.
Okay, so there was a show called Bad Girls Club. Bad Girls Club eventually got canceled. Anywho, it got rebirthed on a different network that's online only web network called the Zeus Network. And the Zeus Network, I won't even talk about how they got created, but now they become this network known for trashy content. And they've relaunched the Bad Girls Club as the show Baddies. And Baddies is like, that's how I maintain some form of sanity in this world because so many times in life I can't do what my brain is telling me I should do. But on the Baddies, they do what their brain tells them they should do. And they just fight and they scrap. And just one episode of that chaos, that's like enough to ground me for the whole week. That's like enough to last me. That show has no plot. It has no even the stars in the show said it has no plot. But just the chaos and disorder of that 1 hour, I look forward to every fucking week.
That's
Just look
awesome.
forward to this hour of disorder and chaos, and it delivers. The baddies deliver. They once even fought on a private plane on federal airspace. And it was on the season Baddies West. I'll never forget it. And the woman who's like the CEO, Natalie, was like telling them, like, you guys can't fight. And like they got the feds on the line. Yeah, that was a crazy episode.
All right. It's like a federal like white jet, like an
Yeah,
executive.
well, yeah, no, because they're like landing and like the pilot's freaking out because
Oh,
he's
they're
like they're
within 10,000 feet
yeah, they were
of
in the
ground.
10th. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And
yeah.
the pilot's freaking out and they're like, why the fuck are you guys fighting? It was because of this one girl, Stunna Girl. And Stunna Girl, the girls were all trying to tell her, like, you're not moving how we think you should be moving. And instead of receiving the criticism, she just lashed out. And there's something about that I just that grounds me. It just grounds me seeing that chaos
Yeah.
and just people acting like that. Yeah.
Makes you feel better about your own
It
situation.
does. It makes me feel better. And I get to live like vicariously through them,
Mhm.
Like my dad, he would watch the Sox and he'd be like, oh, boys. Me watching baddies, it's like, get that bitch.
That's great. So let me transition to what do you like to do on dates? Like when you're on a date, like what types of things do you like to do with somebody?
um, it's been a long time since I've been on like a date like that, but I guess I would like to, it's about getting to know the other person. So I would love to go to like a museum or e- hear them talk about how they interpret art. Um, Based on a certain exhibit. Like I haven't been to the ICA in a long time, so I'd love to do something like that. Or yeah, or physical activity would be fun, like climbing,
Mhm.
like rock climbing. That's very intense, but that or a bike ride. But for the bike ride, we got to talk about you know it's um it's hard for me being in the road with the cars.
Yeah.
Um, I think I could do it. Um, I just saw that there was a biker killed like a couple days ago.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
saw that. Yeah.
So like I know I could do it like on the Arlington bike path or something like that, but it would have to be I would need somebody with a little compassion in their heart for me. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, so something physical or something mental. Like I've never done an escape room or anything like that. Um, it's I like to venture outside of my comfort zone if I know something's worth it.
Hmm.
So I know those things are worth it. Um, Sometimes it's just harder venturing out of my comfort zone than I care to admit.
Okay. That's great. And I think, well, one more part that we didn't talk about with a person though was their personality. So
Oh yeah,
what type of
I
personality do you
need
feel like works
somebody
well?
with the opposite of antisocial behavior. So I need somebody who's like open and extroverted, but also knows, that I'm more introverted, but extroverted with those uncomfortable around. Um,
Yeah.
that didn't answer your question,
Yeah,
did it?
no, so you're I think you're similar to me in
Okay.
terms of we talked about this kind of in our
Yes.
screening call, right?
Yeah.
Is you are you present as an extroverted person, but it's draining at the end of the day or after a large event,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So, but you want someone who is also an extrovert, but can respect the fact that you need recharging at the end of the day.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Okay. That's good. So you don't need someone that can, pull you in, like, uh, slow you down. You need someone that can be amped up with you, but then just respect
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's cool. Do they, do they have to have a certain capability when it comes to jazz hands?
No, I mean, just be able to, feel a beat, like, when the music's thumping, be able to keep in time.
Oh, there you
Like,
go.
what is it? Like Madonna says it into the groove. Bodies we move in time. Now I know you're mine. So yeah, we got to move in time.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What about some other anything else that you can think of in terms of stuff that you'd want people to
I,
know
w-
about you?
I guess just that I've lived through a lot of things in my 34 years on this planet that are sometimes they're not easy things to tell like on a date to somebody. And they're things that if somebody told them to me on a date, I'd be like, why are you telling me that? But I feel like there are things about me that a potential partner or potential mate needs to know, they're just a part of me.
Sure. So you can talk about them if you want to here. We can edit some stuff out
Sure.
too if you feel like you don't want to talk about that. Um, but does that, has that helped you in your journey to of self-discovery when you've discovered kind of maybe this underlying trauma? Has it helped you to become the person you are today?
Well, in some ways, yes. I mean, in some like in the things I did at a young age, like in terms of like going on AOL or AIM unrestricted, and those behavior patterns for dating were not healthy. Like, and even though I was maybe too young to know that they weren't healthy, I knew something wasn't right. But just because something isn't right, that's not enough to change the behavior.
Hmm.
Um, and so it took a lot of like trial and error and knowing like these behaviors won't bring me joy. They won't fulfill my needs in a way that will satisfy me or make me feel loved. So it's time to change that. Um, and then as you see like the technology change, the technology grow, now we're at a level where I just feel like it's not even worth it. And the experience is getting worse, of like sending out like, pictures of yourself to somebody. It's just, yeah, it's low vibrations. It's low vibrational. We want to go for high
Right.
vibrations.
Yeah, totally.
And so this, I feel like this experience and me putting myself out here like this is a lot more high vibrational, a lot more open to possibilities
Yeah.
than going on Grinder or whatnot.
Okay. And so for those who don't know what you're talking about, I do empathize with the AOL online experience back in the 90s. You would get a CD from the mail, and then or from like some kind of promotion from a store. You slide the CD in, you install the software, and then you're connecting through your phone line to the internet. And what
Yeah.
looked like, for anybody who still hears what a fax machine sounds like, that was essentially the initial dial-up. But I remember that too. Like, I think I was 18 or 19, and I was I was looking for women, but I remember specifically one woman, um, in another state that asked me to have phone sex with her, and I'm like, I like had no idea she was a nurse. I was like, that was my first time dealing with nurses, dating nurses.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, so
Wow.
like it was like the Wild West of the internet. Like, it's the beginning of the internet when you have these people who really, I mean, nowadays there's a lot, as you said, it's grown and it's more mature.
Yeah.
That was like the early days.
No.
You had no idea what you were getting involved in. And as young kids, like, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I think, like I said, I was 18, so I wasn't like a minor, but I was still dealing with
Yeah.
dealing with a lot,
Yeah.
dealing with like these adults who are like, "Hey, like let's talk like dirty." I'm like, okay, like,
Yeah.
what are you wearing?"
It was awkward. Yeah.
"I have a t-shirt and
Yeah.
jeans."
Cause you're talking with somebody who don't really know what their likes are. You don't really know what turns them on.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, crazy world.
So I've been able to grow a lot from those learned behaviors.
That's great.
Yeah.
Alright. Anything else that you'd like to tell the audience about yourself?
I guess we'll talk about the car. Yeah, yeah, the accident. Or should yeah. Let's so you know how you always are on your phone, you'll see like pedestrian hit and or you'll see a lot of the time they'll be on ComAv in Brighton. I was one of those pedestrians that you read about.
Wow, so you got hit by a car?
I got hit by a car walking back home from my friends. It was season 11 of Drag Race, and it was the magic show episode. And so I left her place because she was across ComAv was where she lived. I lived on the other side. So I'm leaving. I go, and I don't really remember this next part. I'm just piecing it together, but I basically walked up to the crosswalk. I go to the crosswalk, and then in that moment, somebody wasn't looking at their phone, or they looked down and they looked up, and there I was, and I went airborne 6 feet in the air, and I received a traumatic brain injury, and I had to be resuscitated twice. And they admitted me to the hospital as John Doe Hubbard
Oh, wow.
because I had no identification.
Wow.
Because my wallet was at home, with my stuff across the street. And it was only through a series of like errors. My mom was away in Chicago, so she was able to figure out from her friend that she was with because my boss called her. My boss called my mom to say Dan didn't show up for work today. And they know that's not like me. I don't know call no show. And so it was from that. Then they were able to piece together this pedestrian got hit. That was near where I lived. Then they were able to call and get me identified. And so then the next week, the next 2 weeks, I was at Spalding in Charlestown by the water. If you know the facility. And that was a great experience being there. It was like being on vacation because they bring you your food, everything's so nice. Um, and I remember watching the finale for season 11 of Drag Race in my room at the Spalding. Um, And then it was kind of like a long journey of healing. And people always are like, well, are you okay? Well, are you this? And the answer is yes and no. Like what I mean when I say that is sometimes I can have a bad crash out over things that people might deem little, but sometimes the crash outs can be really bad. And that wasn't the case before the accident. It's a lot easier to say crazier shit in those crash outs than it probably was prior. Um, I'm not going to say what those crazy things are. I'm going to let you guys, fill those in. But I know what they are for me. And luckily, my mom has only been witness to those. And I know while they're happening, I know it's not my like conscious belief in the person that's talking to you now. So I do try to work on them, but yeah, I had kind of had this, my therapist named it Foxy, this kind of passenger. She lives with me and she's like the baddie that lives inside of me. And I kind of adopted her after getting hit by the car. She can, it's definitely like the baddies on the show. She can definitely come out and pop off when she feels that like something around her is unsafe or something, you know. And living with her, I just have to kind of like quiet her and I say, like, no, Dan, like you're okay. Like you don't need her. And it took a long time to be able to do that. But thank God for therapy and a lot of work because I got there.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people have trauma, and it's those people who don't do the work that don't grow. And clearly, you've done a lot of work and you've grown from this, and
Yeah.
you're self aware of
Yeah.
these limitations,
Yeah.
and you want to mention it here so that you don't have to talk about it on the first date if
Yeah.
something like that were to happen. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. And I can tell you're, a good character because my dog is resting behind you on the couch. She was like she was curled up, and she's looking at me now, but
Okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
she was
I'll
like
take
just
it.
yeah, she's just chilling out. She was sleeping a little bit
I
ago.
love that.
She's not restless,
Okay. She
so
doesn't
that's
do this
good.
for everybody.
No, no,
Okay.
she's
Yes.
very
All right.
yeah, she's very much, on guard when
Okay.
there are people in the house, so yeah. Yep, so that's good. Okay, so, is there anything else that you want to talk about for yourself or for anything for that person that might be listening now, that, feels like they have a good feel for you and you forgot to mention one more thing about them?
I know for me right now where I'm working isn't my like career goal, but we're all in different positions in this. So I just want somebody who's at least content with what they do. They may not love it. They may not even like it. Hopefully that's not the case, but they're at least like okay with it. And I don't want somebody who hates so much what they do that they are resentful because of it.
Yeah, that they get consumed by.
Yeah, I do not want that.
Okay.
I have no time for resentment. Like, say how you feel now and get it off your chest
Yeah,
so we can move forward.
yeah, and we were talking offline about this, but you talked about the idea of having a vision and a plan for what do you wanna be, or where do you wanna go long term?
And the answer to that is I would love a full-time librarian position where like I'm working with a director and everybody else to deliver a positive place for the community. That's my like dream. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Alright, well, so I think you've all heard really great stuff about Dan. So, for anybody who's interested, please go to the website www.donewithdating.co and apply to date him. I would ask that you put in, I would ask that you just, put a little effort into providing a video of yourself and explaining what of this episode that you liked of Dan and what resonated with you, as well as information about yourself so that he knows whether this might be a good connection. So with that being said, thank you for coming on.
You're so welcome.
So if you're done with endless swiping and ready for something real, don't miss a single episode. Hit that subscribe button right now on your favorite podcast app and never miss the bold conversations that could change your dating life forever. Every week, we bring you incredible singles, excellent advice, raw stories, and real opportunities to connect, all for free. Subscribe today, apply at DoneWithDating.co, and turn your next listen into your next date. Your perfect match is waiting on the other side of the mic. It doesn't matter where you live, someone local is listening and will want to date you. We'll see you in the next episode. Subscribe now.